Just getting a post-match interview here at the Eyrie following today's narrow 1-0 win over Welwyn City. James, we'll start with you. Proverbial game in two halves, maybe. I thought we were outstanding first half, and probably, I mean, they were good as well, but I thought we shaded it first half, whereas I think they were very good second.
Yeah, I agree, Lee, and I think, like you say, the damage was done by us in the first half, where we obviously got the goal. Great work by Laurie, put the ball across to Adam, stood it up at the back post of Colsey, which was great, and that was obviously the difference with the 1-0. But I think whilst obviously the conditions were difficult today, we certainly played the best part of our game in terms of the footballing that we like to play, with the style in that first half. And I think you could certainly tell based on the second, and Welwyn certainly had the lion's share of probably the possession in terms of territory, maybe not the passing, but maybe longer passes in and getting second balls, which they did really well. So I would agree, yes, certainly a tale of two halves for sure. And then we just really have to shut up shop and then just try and counter and make a couple of chances.
They'll probably be a bit disappointed that they've not gone away with at least something from the game, won't they? Because I think if they had have scored it, a draw would have probably been a fair result, do you think?
Yeah, I think it would, because again, if you look at every game, we all three of us say it every week, depending on which way you look at it in the context, we could have possibly had 2, 3, maybe 4 goals, including the penalty that, well, wasn't given as a penalty. As an example, that could have been 2, 3, or like I say, the 4th if you had that one in with chances that first off weren't taken. Took one this week. But then, like you say, on the flip side, it could quite easily have been a draw, because Dan Green, I mean, he made 2 incredible saves. One I thought was a goal. The other team were cheering on the side near the bench. That's how much of a cert we thought it was a goal. And it was an incredible save. So yeah, we couldn't bemoan that.
You just mentioned the penalty. What was your view on the penalty incident?
Well, obviously from our angle, it was the half that we were in near our dugout, and it just looked like he's clipped him as he's gone round him, and it just looked, the assistant. I know the assistant was struggling to keep up, so we didn't get the best view, but it certainly looked like it was a penalty.
He'll probably thank you for that.
Yeah, probably, but it's just the reality of it, and I think otherwise the ball goes out, and if he's around him and he's deceived the goalkeeper one way and the ball's gone the other, he gets it, and there's got runners in to score. So. Luckily, as it was a 1-0 win, you don't complain too much, do you?
Dave, James just mentioned Dan making some great saves today. So what a difference! It's probably sums up the life of a goalkeeper, really. Last week he had a difficult afternoon where things have not quite gone for him, and today he's been absolutely outstanding, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. I said to you, didn't I, that when we had our huddle at the end, I said praise to the 3 managers for bringing in a new goalkeeper, because that's Dan of old, and that was him back today. Where his arm stretches out, he's made, like James said, he's made one. There was 2 very good saves in the second half, but one of them looked like it was beyond him.
It's almost like he's got his hand to it, but he's held it at the same time.
Yeah,
well.
I'm waiting for them to all run off with their hands in the air, and all of a sudden he stands up with the ball. It was it was quite surreal, but look, that was him back to his best, and we've needed that. He knows that he's not had the best couple of games for us. He's been a little bit hesitant. I had sat and had a chat to him before the game. Not that I'm offering wonderful advice, but I just had a chat to him, because Dan's the quietest in the chamber, if you like. I like his dry sense of humour, but and maybe he just needs someone to sort of let him know. He possibly, because we brought Tyler along today, and he probably thought I'm going to be left out, which we didn't do. Again, the way we run the club, we're not going to destroy the lad, and thankfully maybe that bit of confidence from that today, he and us got rewarded. So pleased.
Clean sheet today, Skip. It's obviously we haven't had one for a little while. A new addition in at centre half today. How do you think he did?
He done fine. We've thrown him in the deep end, really, because we've got 1 or 2 injuries and illnesses, etc. So he's coming. He's a lad that none of us knew, but had played with the Marsh lads at Hitchin. So he comes with good pedigree, and Alex and Laurie are quite honest when talking about players. So they said he's up to it. He looked good in training on Wednesday, and today he's come in there. And to be fair to him, he's joined in. He's said enough to say that he's got character about him, and out on the pitch he's performed. I'm going to sit there and say he can only get better, but he's done absolutely nothing wrong today. but that's his first game. That's his first game with us. Normally you're talking pre-season and you got things to work on. So no, happy with that. It was just everything, and really, I'm going to say it's testimony to the lads after last week and the way some of the goals went in. We've come back here. There's been no moaning about it. You win some, you lose some. You play well some weeks. You not so well other weeks. And I think the lads have got round each other and supported, in this case, Dan, superbly. And we've got a great performance out of him. But next week it could be somebody else who has a poor game. And there is, for me, when they go back in the changing rooms, it's like the unity. They defend each other. They're mates off the field. And that showed today. Last week was one of those. And we weren't that bad last week. I'm going to sit there and say to you, last week's second half, we was better than this week's second half. Football's a funny old game. We've won 1-0, but we've won 1-0 because Dan Green's produced 3 unbelievable good saves. Next week, we could sit there and be talking of a 2-2 draw, having played outstanding and not got the just reward. So, yeah, it's one of those. But clean sheet's massive for us. I think that's the first one since Biggleswade Town. That's only the second one in something like 8.
You've been doing your homework by any chance? Or?
Well, the stat I gave the lads was last 6 games we conceded first in 5.
Right.
And that for me isn't good enough. And I can accept that you're going to play in that run. You've played Berkhamsted. I think we played Ware. You've played Biggleswade Town. You played some good sides, but you can't keep conceding first. And for me, that's the best start that we've had since Kiddington down here, when we was outstanding for half an hour and went 4-0 up quite quickly. So that's the start that we need, and we haven't done anything different. It's just reminding them, really, and just a great goal. The goal itself was brilliant because it was well worked in midfield, some short passes inside the full-back, and talk about Adam getting better and better. He still wants to learn, and he's just put it to the... He doesn't do that 2 years ago. He's looked up and he's just clipped it to the back post. It's just a good goal to watch. So happy all round, can't complain.
Just coming back to, obviously we've still got a few players out injured at the minute. We've got hopefully a game Tuesday. What's the latest with players? Are they all close to being back, or what's the situation?
Yeah, we are. We're in quite a good nick. They're you saw today. So Charlie, we gave him about 10 minutes, I think, with the injury time. George was here today. He could have. Amy said in the end he could have possibly gone on the bench, but we didn't risk him today, and then so that he'll get minutes on Tuesday. Because I think Lee he's still coming back and working. We couldn't get him on the pitch today, but it's one of those. But yeah, we are. We're starting to slowly funnel back, which will be another problem when we do get him. But it'll be a nice problem to keep coming through this little run with the injuries and that. You know, we signed, like you just said about, we signed Dan because centre half wise we were down to Dan Newton. Pat's got another week of suspension. He'll then come back into the reckoning. So the squad will start filling up, and we'll end up having to discuss who don't make the 16 in a week or two. But some good players are coming back for us at the moment. If we can get them back sharpness, hopefully just to give us a kick to finish the season off, and again same old story, but try and stay in that playoffs places, which I think is for us as a club is a big achievement. So.
James, just finally, how important was it to get a positive result today after obviously what happened last week? Obviously the scoreline was obviously disappointing for us, but there were still some good elements of what we did last week. But obviously winning breeds confidence, doesn't it? So how important was it to get back on the winning trail straight away today?
It is always important, but I think, like you say, because of the run that we've been on and the results and generally the performance, minus last week, I think you can sort of forgive it, once or twice, depending on the scenario. But no, basically it was a brilliant result because you do want to bounce back quickly, and like the boys showed the character and the belief and basically got back into the groove as if last week didn't happen, and that's all you can ask for. So credit to all the players and all the subs that come on brilliantly.
Excellent stuff, boys. Well, enjoy your evening, and we'll see you again Tuesday.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lee.